So with that being said, what I want you to do before we dive in here is paint this vision for yourself, right? Imagine getting up every day and already knowing what you're going to eat for the day, right? Already having an idea. Imagine getting up every day knowing the foods that you're going to eat are going to fuel you for your workouts. They're going to fuel you for high performance throughout your day. They're going to fuel you to be able to keep up with your kids and do all the things that you want to do, and not have this sluggishness, mid-afternoon, or feel like you got to rely on energy drinks. Envision that, waking up with soaring energy levels. Obviously, what we teach, there's a lot of components, right? There's obviously mindset's massive, but when we start talking about sleep and stress management and fitness, all those things play a role here. But the reality is, you guys all have heard the saying that, that food is fuel, or we are what we eat. That's one of the longest sayings out there. And so it is very true, but there's some fun in it as well, right? You guys know that, we're not afraid to post our burger pictures, or I'm more of the beer guy in this group, but burgers and tacos and fajitas and all that good stuff. You've got to know that that's not going to sabotage the progress that you've been making. And we're going to try to give you some clarity on how all that works tonight. So what is up, Zach? What is up, Anthony? My intro is done. How are you gentlemen doing tonight?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right. How about you guys?
Anthony, how are you, my man?
For this, yeah, absolutely excited. You guys are in for a treat tonight. Nutrition is people that something that people overcomplicate, right? And we're gonna make it simple for you guys, simple but effective and sustainable, right? Those are the keys. So excited for this, and I know we've got some questions, but we'll talk about how we help members of this group and members of our private group as well. So pumped for it.
Yeah, man. So let's go ahead and dive in. I think you kind of summarized it right there, Anthony, with the trying to make it as simple as possible, and so many people overcomplicate it, right? And so I know that one of the things that Zach is big on, and he talks about often, is energy balance, right? And so the reality is this: is that I will tell you that in my personal life, there has been so many times prior to me getting fit. Now, this is quite a while back. I'm 10 plus years in my journey. And when I was overweight and out of shape, I was that guy scrambling, like, what do I need to eat to get results? And then, you guys know, and we've talked about this recently in the podcast, that, we're our harshest critics. We're harder on ourselves than we are on our worst enemies. And, what we see a lot of is guys will eat one bad meal and quote unquote fall off the wagon. And then all of a sudden it's this vicious downward spiral where they can't seem to get back on track again. And so I know that's more of a mindset thing, but that's something we see a lot, right? And so even in our private community, when guys are first starting out, it's like you want to beat yourself up because you think you've got to do this, have this perfect plan, and everything's got to be perfect. And we always pound the table for progress over perfection. So let me just ask you guys, man, like, what is your take on that? Do you think that this is more of a psychology thing, or why do you feel like guys go down that road when they've got nutrition, maybe they've dialed it in for a couple of weeks and they're doing well, one or two bad meals comes and then they fall off? So what is your take on that, you guys, either one of you guys?
Yeah, I think Jason and Zach, I think it goes back to like, it's broken, and now I just feel like I'm just going to take the rest of the week off, right? It's something we talk about, or that I'm big on, is, hey, it's all right to have one maybe treat meal or cheat meal, but not two in a row, right? And then it's just falling in love with the process, but being super hard on ourselves. So it goes back to that identity. We talk about that a lot as well, is like, think about your future self, not your current self. So the decisions we make, in terms of, one bad meal, maybe then a second bad meal, are we making that decision for our current self because we feel super hungry, or we feel like that craving coming on, or we just, God, I could go for a burger and a beer right now, and that's okay. But if we're doing that 2 or 3 times in a row, we need to think about our future self, where we want to go, that identity, versus thinking about our current situation and our current cravings and our current status, I guess, right? So that's a lot of it, I think.
Zach, what you got, man? What is this self-sabotage that we see so often?
Yeah, man. I was sitting here trying to think of how I can relate it to nutrition, because it is so
it's mostly mindset, but it's so huge. Mindset. Like nutrition and mindset are just as more important as fitness and mindset. Right?
It really is, man. I mean, working out, mindset, eating the right thing, mindset, you know what I mean? Waking up, sleeping on time, mindset, everything just goes right back. It funnels all down to mindset. So I was here sitting thinking, like, how the hell can I talk about this in terms of like nutrition without going into mindset, which is a completely other topic.
For sure.
But the fact of the matter is they're all intertwined. So I think a lot of these people, they'll build great momentum, right? And then they're like, okay, here, let's put it this way. I'm here and I want to get here. Okay. And when you're on that journey and you mess up, it's so easy to just backslide to who you originally were. Yeah. You have to act and eat and work out and just do all the things that's going to make you become the person you want to be. But it's so easy to go backwards. I think that's kind of why it's like imposter syndrome. You know what I mean? You want to become this one person, but then you almost feel like, why am I doing this? Who am I? What, like, it's very tricky thing, man. It's just, mindset is everything. It's a very tricky thing.
Go ahead. I was just saying, I'll add one more thing to that too. It comes down to planning, right? So when we don't plan, or if we, fall off or something bad happens and it throws off our plan, then that can completely throw everything off. So it's planning ahead as well. I think that's a big piece of it too, is planning ahead and being prepared, right? So having that routine and those healthy habits.
Well, and you can let yourself, you can derail yourself real quick when you start beating yourself up over one small mistake. I think what I see the most, and and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I'm seeing inside of our community. So you guys are seeing the same shit. Yeah. The reality is this, you get a guy that comes on and he's, week 1, week 2, and you slip up a couple times and it's like, man, I've committed to this. Like I want to be a better man. I want to be a better father. I want to become the healthiest and best, most elite version of myself. And I just really messed up after I'm just getting started. And then it's just boom, boom, just beating yourself up. But then we get a guy, we get a situation where a guy's been in for a month, 2 months, 3 months. They've already had the mindset shift. And it's like, okay, wait a minute. This is a long-term sustainable life, and life is going to happen to you, right? Life happens to all of us. It is going to kick you in the face, and you've got to get up and be able to move forward. And when you have that mindset shift, and it's about embracing that journey, right? We know that we know where we want to go. We want to become a better man. We want to become the best and most elite version of ourselves. The reality is, in order to get there, it is about embracing that journey. And I think so many people get caught up, so many guys get caught up in the micro instead of the macro. And I know we talk about that a lot. So I know we're on the mindset topic, so I want to stay there for a second. I know this is mostly nutrition, but here you said something, Anthony, and it reminded me of a podcast I was listening today. A lot of people talk about falling in love with the process, and I think to get good at anything, you talk about you see Michael Jordan, right? This is the guy shooting thousands and thousands upon free throws. Can get up at the free throw line and shoot a free throw with his eyes closed to stick it in Dikembe Mutombo's face. You got Derek Jeter taking ground ball after ground ball, and this is just putting in the reps. And that's kind of the falling in love with the process. But here's the thing, and this is a point that I wanted to really touch on, is that are they really in love with the process, or do they love the outcome so much that they're willing to sacrifice the process for the outcome? They're willing to put in the micro steps to achieve that macro discipline that they're all after. I know for me, I would be lying to you if I told you that I loved exercise. I would be lying to you if I told you that I loved, if I would choose a salmon, sweet potato, and broccoli meal or asparagus over a burger and a beer. But I know that on a Monday or a Tuesday, when that burger or beer is going to make me feel like shit when I go work out, or I'm sluggish to get up and help with the kids in the morning, and I know it's going to really impact my performance, that I'm okay with making that sacrifice, because I know the salmon's still going to taste damn good, maybe not the burger, but I know it's going to fuel me for proper performance and to perform at a high level every day. So what are your guys' thoughts on that?
I was actually reading. Oh, go ahead, Anthony, real quick, because I was actually just going to pop up this question. We have our first question. So, but go ahead, Anthony.
Cool. I'll answer real quick, and then so I think, Jason, to your point, I think it's a little bit of both. I think, having the macro goal and that finish line, but also fall in love with the process. And then, maybe it's not the actual process you're falling in love with. Maybe it's the quick turnaround after that process is done that same day. So like I fall in love with the feeling I get after I'm done working out, right? I fall in love with the clarity, the mindset, the confidence, and the people in our group do as well. The people we work with, the guys we work with, right? So they're falling in love with knowing that now they just crushed the day. They've got a small win, like that maybe it's a feeling or some of those things, or knowing that they're setting themselves up for the macro as well. So maybe it's falling in love with the small win, or the feeling, the dopamine, the adrenaline, all those kind of things too. So I get your point. I think again, a mindset.
There's a lot of ways to look at it.
There's a lot of ways to look at it.
I love the endorphins, don't get me wrong. But if I'm doing intervals and I'm on my 5th interval and I'm like, I might die.
I hate
that's
this.
not cool. But when I'm done and I walk out of the gym and I'm like, yeah, I just did that.
There
shit,
you go.
Right.
Yep.
That's the feeling you love. But Zach, what were you going to cover, man?
It's just a question, dude. It was just our first question. It's from Trent, and he asks, how much emphasis should one put on macros, or do you encourage focus on high protein? Either one of you guys.
Yeah, great question. So Trent, I'll just be fully transparent with you.
Before you even answer, he asked a second one. Okay, so he asked, is intermittent fasting something you value and preach? So you could roll it all into one if you want.
I'll roll it all into one. So I'll be fully transparent with every single one of you guys in here. So I will say the majority of the guys that come into our program follow it. Now let me back up. Everybody that comes in and works with us is not in there for fat loss or weight loss. We do have clients that come in that hire us to get stronger, put on muscle mass, and really take a different route, right? They want to see their graph go up with weight gain, and most of our guys want to see it go down with weight loss, right? So we cover it all. And so somebody that comes in like that, man, like we're not going to have the same strategies. It's a very customized approach. It's not going to be the same strategy from one guy to the next unless the common goal is there. So with that being said, we do teach a couple of different kinds of intermittent fasting. I personally follow a modified version of intermittent fasting. I think it is the most convenient and most efficient way that I've ever fueled my body. I've been doing it for close to 10 years now. And when I say convenient, I love the fact that I don't have to get up in the morning and worry about eating. I'm not a morning stuff my face guy. I was when I was in my bodybuilding phase, and I was eating 5,000 calories a day. And so, but that's not where I'm at right now. I'm in maintenance mode. I'm a dad. I'm trying to keep up with my kids and my family and all the activities and that stuff going on. So it's very convenient, and it just really works for fat loss, right? We got Seth's on here watching right now. I think Seth dropped damn near 20 pounds in 1 month just by following that and doing some home workouts. He hasn't even gotten his dumbbells in yet, right? So he's still using bands and some light dumbbells. We had a call today, and this guy's crushing it. And all he did was literally take, our orientation process and just implement it, and boom, like, I'm not changing it. That's too simple, too easy. I'm rolling with it. And the guy's crushing. And I just saw him pop up, so I use it as an example. But this is a very common trend we see. To your point on macros, we are all about sustainability. We've had guys come in here. I get a lot of guys that come in and message me and say, hey man, do you guys have meal plans accessible in this group? Or can I get a meal plan? I'm going to be real honest with you guys. Like, we don't teach that. I'm not going to hand you a meal plan and say, hey, go follow this for 2 weeks, because we are all about sustainability. What we do teach is proper nutrition and how to fuel your body for high performance. We don't want you counting calories. We don't want you counting macros. We don't want you counting anything. To be honest with you, I don't even want you to have to log your meals at a MyFitnessPal or anything like that, because again, it's about sustainability. So for 6 months, is it cool? Sure. But are you going to be doing that 6 years later? The majority of the guys in here aren't going to, I'm trying to think of a high-end restaurant, Three Forks or something, right? You're not going to a nice restaurant and going to pull up the menu and then and go log all your stuff or check and see if it fits your macros. That's not sustainable long-term. And so that's really our approach. We don't want you to have to count anything. Now, will we ask you to potentially log your meals for a few days so that we can get insight onto what's going on in your life? Absolutely. And sometimes it happens. Some guys come in and they may not be eating enough. There's always such thing as eating too much, but there's also such thing as eating too little. And we need to get that piece dialed in to really start cranking results. So hopefully I covered your question, man. The reality is, if it's not sustainable, we're not teaching it. So you guys want to add anything onto that, feel free.
You covered it, man. But I am the guy, Jason knows this, dude. I am the guy that encourages eating a good amount of protein. Now, compared to what people used to think, when they used to think that you had to have like 3 times your body weight in protein, that's BS. You don't need that.
I don't want to cut you. I'm sorry to cut you off. I saw a post in here today, somebody asking questions on that. And somebody commented, I forget who commented, and said, hey, man, you need a gram per pound. And the guy responded back. I didn't have time to really give a thorough answer. So I scrolled past and I forgot to come back to it. But you said that and I thought of it. And the dude was like, so you're telling me I need 275 grams of protein? He's like, are you sure? And I'm like, I wanted to comment. I'm like, dude, I got a call right now, but no, you can eat a whole cow. I mean,
look,
so
that's the thing, dude. So the USRDA, that's where I was getting at. The USRDA is 0.8 grams, okay, per kilogram that you weigh, which is actually kind of low. That's the reason why people don't have a problem with protein deficiency. Is it the optimal amount of protein for maximum muscle protein synthesis or muscle gain? No, but it is very hard to be protein deficient. So there's something called, since this is a nutrition talk, I'm just, going on doing my thing.
You're good, bro.
So there's something called the thermic effect of food. Okay. So carbohydrates, fats, proteins, you consume all of them. Each of them has a different thermic effect of food. Protein is going to have the highest. And what I mean by that is, so I'll give you an example. Okay. Say you eat 100 calories worth of protein, right? The thermic effect of food, the TEF, I'll just call it, of protein is actually about 15 or 20%. So of the 100 calories that you eat, you're only really going to store about 80 or so calories of that, because 20 of those calories are going to be used just metabolizing that protein. The body has the hardest time metabolizing that versus carbohydrates and fat. Fat has a TEF of, I believe, 3 to 5%, and carbohydrates, I think it's around like 8 or 9. I forgot exactly, don't quote me, but protein definitely has the highest TEF. So I always encourage a high protein diet, only because the high TEF is going to help protect your lean muscle mass, because as you age, I won't get into all that crazy stuff right now, but as you age, you actually do need more protein to sustain the muscle mass that you do have, especially because testosterone drops. Now I know there's a lot of people who are like, oh, too much protein is bad for your kidneys. That's also been debunked. If you want to have some kind of kidney damage from high amounts of protein, you'd have to purposely try, dude. You'd have to eat like 10 chickens.
Unless you already have compromised kidney function.
Yes. Unless you have some kind of renal issues, then, then for sure. But in general, it's very hard to be protein deficient, and it's extremely hard to cause kidney damage from protein. But I am a fan of having protein every meal, like some kind of lean protein source. There's my little spiel.
Hey man, I was just about to say, you said the testosterone drop. I said, you just want to drop the damn mic?
It's a nutrition.
You just nailed it. Now, let me just add on that real quick so Anthony can get 2 words in, but I will tell you, Zach is the protein guy, right? Zach pushes protein.
I'm the nutrition guy.
I'm the healthy fat guy. You guys are going to see. I pound the table for this, because here's the reality. The majority of you guys in this group right now, unless you're already working with us, are not eating enough healthy fats. I'm just going to tell you that right now. The bottom line is most people in general don't eat enough healthy fats. I got guys that reach out to me all the time, as you guys can imagine, and will give me a whole summary of what they're eating. And I'll look at it, I'm like, man, that's a lot of protein and that's a lot of vegetables. Looks pretty healthy, but where's the healthy fat? That Zach says, protein is going to keep or fill you up quicker, right? And keep you satiated. The thing about healthy fats is this, is not only do they fill you up and keep you full for a long time, but they also work with your hunger hormones as well, right? So what you have to realize is 1 gram of protein and 1 gram of carbohydrates are both 4 calories apiece. 1 gram of fat, healthy fat, is 9 calories. So yes, there's more calories, but it's significantly more nutrient dense in terms of, being able to keep you full for a long time. So when you get this combination, and we're not counting macros here, we're saying to place a heavy emphasis on really getting all 3 complex carbohydrates, solid lean protein sources, and healthy fats. You get that combo going, I guarantee you that one change alone will help you tremendously with your performance on a daily basis. Now, before I go any further, are you guys getting value out of this? If you're getting value, drop the word value in the comments right now, because I think this is one of the most valuable live streams we've done to date. Anthony, your floor is yours.
No, you guys knocked it out of the park. Like, I don't even know what else to say.
Here. How about this? How about I'll jump into the next question. How about that?
That's perfect.
Because this is actually up Jason's alley, because he's the morning workout guy. This is from Jeff. He asked, I train in the morning.
That's Anthony, bro.
No.
Oh, dude, no, that's the morning. He's the morning wake up guy. He's the ridiculous. I don't get that guy. I don't get that guy. Who invited him? So Jeff asked, I train in the morning. Does intermittent fasting make sense?
Well, I'll just answer that for you, because I've done it all. I'll just tell you right now. You said Jeff is his name?
Jeff,
Okay.
yeah, Merkel.
Okay, so Jeff, to answer your question, man, I've done work. I've changed my workout timing multiple times and have followed my modified version of intermittent fasting the entire time. So I've done morning workouts. We've had clients come in. Okay, and I'll call him out. We've got a guy, and he's in this group. I don't think he's on the stream right now. Michael. Michael came in. Okay, Michael is an early riser like Anthony, and he's in the military. And Michael came in and straight up told me during our initial onboarding call, he's like, dude, he goes, I don't think I can do the intermittent fasting. He's like, I work out hard in the morning. When he says hard, like this guy came in, had already dialed the fitness in. He works out probably in terms of volume more than Zach, myself, and Anthony on a day-to-day basis. The guy's putting up, in terms of volume alone, it's insane. He's on another level with the amount of weight that he does. With that being said, he's like, dude, I work out so hard in the morning. There's no way that I'm going to be able to do this. I'm a hungry bear. He did it for 2 days, 2 freaking days. And by the 3rd day, he goes, man, I've never had this kind of energy for my workouts in my entire life. I cannot believe how much energy I have to perform during my workouts, and I'm not eating. So hopefully that answers your question. But I'll tell you, in my personal life, right now, I'm a noon to 1 kind of workout guy in that hour. My first meal of the day, guys, my first actual meal. Now there's a modified intermittent fasting piece. There's a modification on the front end. My first actual meal doesn't come until 2 p.m. All right. And I work out at lunch. So I go from 7. I wake up at 7. Okay. Now it's 6:45. Anthony's up at like 3:45. He doesn't have a 6-month-old in his room right now.
Right.
So I wake up 7. My first actual meal doesn't happen till 2, man. So hopefully that gives you some insight on you can absolutely work out in the morning and follow some type of intermittent fasting. When we say intermittent fasting, we're not coaching you to do 24 or 48-hour ridiculous fast like that. That's absurd. The longest I've ever gone is 24 hours, and I wanted to
die,
punch somebody. Yeah, it wasn't cool. So no, that's not it. It's not extreme. It's just a window, right? And that window is highly effective. So that's what I got, man. Jeff, no protein shake. I don't do that, Jeff. To be honest with you, man. The reality is, going back to Zach's point, what he brought up about the protein. I get plenty of protein, and I'm in maintenance mode. If I was in muscle gain mode, and I may go there again at some point once kids are a little bit older. But the bottom line is, man, like I'm not placing a heavy emphasis on protein shakes right now, just because I usually eat right after I get home from my workout. And so the food is already going in. I'm not slamming shakes. I used to be in that mode, and these guys still might do some of that too, but it's just not a priority for me right now. So what do you guys take on that?
On protein shakes?
Yeah. After your workout,
Anthony,
right
you
after your
sound like
workout.
you were-
Well, I was just going to say, it depends on your goals, right? I mean, that's the hard
Yeah.
part. Like, we don't know exactly what he's going for. So
Right.
totally depends on your goals. And that's the same thing with some of the modified intermittent fasting and some of that stuff too. We're
All
going to
your
tweak
goals.
it a little bit for everybody, right? But, especially in our private group, because, we have to tweak some things. Everybody's a little bit different, right? And that's okay.
We're all
But-
people, man.
Exactly.
We're all people. It's not a robot solution, dude.
No
It's not
way.
a cookie cutter.
No
It's
way.
it's a high level, high touch point program, dude. And like, that's what we value. I'll get on a little side note here. I know a lot of you guys have gone on to the Dad Bod Health website and had some questions about that. Here's the thing. I chose to remove every single online course and automated program that we have. I feel like where we're going is all about people and communication. And you cannot have that with online courses. Can you make a ton of money in different niches with online courses? Sure. And I made a chunk of change when I was selling my course before, but it's not what I truly love. It doesn't have the touch points. I can't be there to support. I can't be there to answer questions. And it's just something that I decided, look, man, like, it's not who I am. It's not part of what I want to do. We are communication people, man. And so high touch point, everything is customizable, because the reality is every single one of you guys in here is your own person. You got to do what works best for you in your life.
We want community, we want camaraderie, we want to be able to impact, and the only way to do that is communication and truly getting to know you guys, and that's what you get in the private groups and when you work with us, right?
100%.
That's what we're passionate about. That's what gets us out of bed every day.
No doubt, man. No doubt. So any other questions that you saw?
So
scrolling through there?
Jerry previously said the reason why you guys probably skipped over on accident was because it was not in the form of a question. But Jerry, actually, one of our guys, he actually asked, what are some examples of some healthy fats? Well, I asked it in the form of a question, but he's looking for examples.
Jerry,
what is healthy fats?
You just
Jeopardy.
revealed the fact that you're not in the curriculum, my man. Go in there.
Oh, somebody didn't do his homework.
Yeah, someone's not doing their homework. No, I'll answer your question, my man. So there's a ton. The ones that, and let's go here. We'll I think this is going to be a good spot for us to talk about common carbohydrate sources that are eaten in our house, common protein sources, and healthy fats. Let's give these guys a little bit of insight on what we are currently eating in our own lives. All right. So in terms of healthy fats, Jerry, just to answer your question, and you guys can chime in on the other stuff. The healthy fats that we eat most of is salmon and steelhead trout. If you're not a fish guy, no big deal. Olive oil is great. Coconut oil. Nuts, not peanuts. Peanuts are a legume. They're not that nutrient dense. When I say nuts, almonds, walnuts, pecans, pistachios. I feel like the lady at Thanksgiving: beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes. So with that being said, though, nut butters, almond butter, seeds are great to throw in a salad. There's a ton of healthy fat options. The ones that I eat most right now are pecans, pistachios, salmon, steelhead trout, olive oil, coconut oil, and some almond butter. Those are my go-tos. So proteins, carbohydrates, what do you guys got?
I'm a huge egg guy. Eggs almost every meal.
I forgot to say eggs
hard-boiled.
on the
Yeah.
menu.
Wow, Jason, I can't believe you didn't say eggs.
35 a
Wow.
week.
I eat
Wow.
4 eggs for breakfast or for my first meal. I probably eat at least 8 eggs a day, probably.
Oh wow, I'm a 35 egg a week, dude. So you got me.
Yeah.
You got me beat. That's awesome. I
Kids
used to
love
eat
eggs
50 a
too.
week, but
Yeah, I love eggs. So that's my main, and then avocado when they're in season and good, and then most of the other things you said. Love salmon. Didn't used to, and learned to love it. Love it a lot.
So
for
cool.
protein.
Zach, complex carbohydrates. Throw them out there. What you got going on in your household, man?
Oh, complex carbohydrates right now. Okay, so whole grain rice, quinoa. I got what else I have right now? I actually have whole wheat pasta. Those are actually my main ones. I mean, of course, they're like the sweet potatoes and all that other good stuff like that. But those are like
sweet potatoes,
those are like the staples
black
for me.
rice and quinoas are.
Yeah, I don't have black rice. Black rice is actually it tastes really damn good though. But I can't find that stuff anywhere actually.
Really?
Yeah, I can't. But everything else works pretty good. But those pretty much are like my 4 main staples that I have in my pantry pretty much at all times.
We got a question here. How much protein do you eat to your weight? Jason referred to my post on the 1 gram to your weight by pounds. I weigh 234. Does that mean 235 grams of protein? No. So what Zach was saying, it's one gram or 0.8 per kilo. 1 kilo is 2.2 pounds. So it's significantly less. I'm not sure how old you are, John, but dude, like if you weigh 234 pounds, like if you're getting 100 grams of protein in, that's plenty, man. Like you don't like if you're really trying to put on lean muscle mass and that's your main focus, you could probably go higher than that. But like in my estimation, dude, if it's about a lean physique and being able to stay full longer with the protein and really just be healthier, if you're trying to lose body fat and that kind of thing, you don't need 235 grams of protein, man. It's hard to eat that amount. When I was in my bodybuilding phase, I was doing 1.5 grams per pound. And dude, it was a nightmare to live like that. I never again for me. 5,000 calories is nightmarish.
That's ridiculous. That's a lot, dude.
Dude, I was right now. I'm about 175. I'm 5'10". I got up to 215 and still had ab definition, dude. It was nuts. Like I still have pictures. I looked like something out of a weird, like scary movie. It was not a good look on me. So.
Thanks for flexing on us. All right, next question.
Hey man, it's a distant memory. You guys got me beat these days, man.
So Rick actually asked, I think this one that it might have been overlooked. Rick asked, can you guys explain why those fat burners like hydroxycut are also bad and not a true solution? Zach Smith. Okay, so guys or me. Anyway, so I haven't looked into hydroxycut personally myself in depth, but a lot of these fat burners, what they do is they don't do really much in the sense of like actually speed up your metabolism. But what they do is they give you ingredients that's going to promote your activity level. So a lot of these fat burners, they're caffeine pills.
Yep.
I'll pretty much
With some
I'll-
other caffeine-like
other
substances.
Yes,
Yeah.
with some other stuff, guarana and all that extract stuff, right? But
Proprietary
essentially,
blends.
proprietary blends. That's
There you
essentially
go.
just
Yeah.
it's caffeine, dude. So a lot of these pills, what they are is they're just caffeine pills, and maybe they have fiber in it or anything that's going to suppress your appetite, but it's also going to promote activity. So
Yep.
there's something called NEAT. Now I'll just do it like real quick. There's something called NEAT, NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is on the exercise side of things versus nutrition. But when you have caffeine, you're more likely to move around, and anything that you do that's not exercise is going to be calories burned through NEAT. So that's pretty much how those fat burners work. They don't do it not directly, but indirectly by making you move and fidget and just move more.
Well, and again, remember the word sustainability. If it's not sustainable, we're not going to teach it. And the reality is when we have guys join our mentorship program, the bottom line is this, man. Like we don't want them to just achieve optimal health and lose the fat and obtain the physique they want. We also want their health, their long-term health. We place a high value on that. I'm a registered nurse, man, and I take it very seriously when our community members are eliminating medications, are performing powerfully and consistently every day, are able to keep up with their kids, are able to, Rick's running around in the backyard with his dog that he hadn't done in years. Like these things, that's what fuels our fire, quality of life. And so we don't take shortcuts. We want to teach you real proper nutrition. And in order to do so, we don't involve any of the nonsense gimmicky stuff out there. And so that's just my take on that.
Yeah.
I know you got something else to add, Zach?
Yeah, well, not something to add, but I just wanted to hop to the next question real fast because I think we're almost good with all of them, unless there's other ones that I haven't seen yet. But let me just throw this in there quickly. Christopher asked, you mentioned previously eating a lot of eggs. Do you worry about cholesterol? I'll just tell you right now, no, don't worry about cholesterol. That myth has also been debunked. There's actually a recent study that came out in the UK, like very recently, where they're trying to tell you that eating eggs is going to increase your all-cause mortality by like 6 or 7%.
I saw that dumb shit, man.
BS. Bull to the shit. Okay. They had like over 500,000 people in this study. The people were ages like 50 to 75 or something like that. They were all, what is it? They reported it self-reported, which by the way, for you guys that don't know, studies, when they're self-reported, they could be off by up to like 70% up or down because they just kind of guess or they feel bad. They're like, I think I should put this. So, and you don't know what lifestyle choices they made and just all kind of.
There's probably not a healthier food on the planet than an egg.
Eggs are loaded with vitamins and minerals.
Yeah. I mean, you're eating the embryo of you're eating what was supposed to become a full animal. You get it all, the whole shebang. And I will tell you, in my standpoint, I used to work for a wellness company. So we would get our blood work done often. And that was when I was in my bodybuilding phase and doing 50 eggs or more a week. And the thing is my numbers would only improve with the 50 eggs a week. My numbers were never, and I would do a lot of, I worked there for quite a while. So I was in and out of that bodybuilding phase, and my numbers, they would fluctuate minimally depending on, different circumstances, but the eggs never made an impact. So I would not worry about that. Egg whites, you're wasting your money. Get the damn egg yolk and get the real nutrients. Egg whites, I mean, look, if you want some extra lean protein, sure, but there's no reason to be skipping out on the yolk, guys. So I know we're getting short on time. If you guys have any other questions, drop them down below.